6:08, we can call the meeting to order. Um, So, because we're only four and we need a quorum of five, I guess we're gonna table the minute review for now, and we can start with item 4 on the agenda, which is the business update. So I guess just for the record, we have a commission of just 5 now, with a total max of 8, so we have to have everybody in the commission at a meeting to be able to have a quorum to make a vote go through. So it's gonna be interesting going forward until we have, fill up some of these vacant spots, but it's good to talk about what's going on. And if Brian comes in, we can do that, but otherwise we'll try to approve these next month. So, business updates. We just met. I don't have a ton. I can announce that 2 leases were signed down at 245 Amity. It's kind of cool that so the right approach is moving to where the wine shop was. Just so they can downsize a little bit and get theirs, and we have a deal that may happen with where the right approach is, but that lease isn't signed yet. It looks pretty good. Be an interesting use for down there. And then we have a pharmacy that signed a lease for the corner space where the Red Barn was. And the pharmacy is going to be an apothecary, mom and pop style pharmacy that's going to really try to cater to the community. They're excited about the
Wasn't there a
Tollbrook.
pharmacy
There was a
there for a
pharmacy.
There was
short
a long
time?
time ago,
Yeah.
8 or 9 years
Completely
ago.
different ownership. They own another pharmacy out of state, which I've seen pictures of, which is beautiful. It's one of those places you walk in and they're gonna know your name kind of place. So it should be nice, and they're gonna be approval. I think approvals are already been set to add a drive-through on that side of the building. So there's gonna be a drive-up window for the pharmacy too.
Oh, that's good.
So it's kind of cool. I don't have any other updates that about the business district per se.
So the wine shop went out of business?
Wine shop went out of business.
I wasn't aware of that.
Neither was I.
So yeah, I guess that's the other update is that the wine shop is out. I think it was a sort of it was hard for them, I think, to run a business with the way they're running it. There was one person that worked there all the time, and for her to be there, 24/7 on every day of the weekend and Monday, it was.
They couldn't staff it.
They couldn't staff. I think there was absentee owner kind of thing. It was a little bit sort of sad, but I think I really wanted it to work over there. But
When did they open?
when did they open?
Did they open a year ago? Did they even? Was it even?
Maybe a year.
We had one of our events there.
Yeah, so it's probably a year. Probably at least a year, I would think. Because I was.
Yeah, we had a happy hour there.
Right.
And that was probably,
I
I think that was like a year ago. I think it was like fall of 22, thereabouts.
I think the people that went there really enjoyed having the wine shop there. I think there could have been other avenues for them to bring more people in, but
Well,
tastings and that kind
especially
of stuff.
with what's going up next door,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah, that would have been a home run if they could have
Waited
written it out
Yeah.
to have the over 55 tenants next door. Holy cow, yeah.
No, I mean, it's sad to see them go. They were trying to sell the business for a while, and they had some offers, and nothing really stuck. So eventually, there was other things for the, on the table. It's a business decision at the end of the day. So hopefully, at some point in time, we'll find that there'll be another retail center built, or there'll be another opportunity somewhere, and another one will come down. But 2030, I don't think there's any updates since the last meeting we had. I don't think there's anything new that's happened. I don't think we've met since the last time we actually met for EDC. And then Tony, I don't know if you want to speak to the EDC, the CT regional stuff. Is there anything with the CETUS or any of that kind of stuff? Anything new?
Not that I'm aware of, but you attended one,
Yeah, actually, Cleo was on the New Haven. I saw you on there. Was that Was it? Day was
Yesterday,
that?
was
the
yesterday,
day
or it could've
before,
been
yeah.
Tuesday or
Yesterday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
And they had Milford EDC.
It was
shared
really
their-
interesting, yeah.
A 55,000 person city with all that industry. But it was I thought it was fascinating.
It was a
Yeah, I
presentation by the
didn't-
town of Milford.
Yeah, the head of their
There's-
EDC and
I've had her present at a CID meeting where we had all the
Julie?
commercial brokers. there.
Julie, yeah.
yeah.
So they're putting I I missed where she said it was. I think the Wheeler's Farm area, there's gonna be that Big-
Kind of sort of mall.
mixed use, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, plans for the Milford Mall
Yeah.
becoming residential.
Mm-hmm.
I heard today, I was talking to one of my contractors, that they're doing the same thing with the Danbury Mall, which was surprising. That that's also going to be converted into housing out there.
Well,
But I thought that was interesting. Clearly, that's a paid position.
Yes.
But the depth in how they bring in like everything from like how education fits into the economic development equation in the town. And I was telling Tony, one of the things that jumped out at me, were you on at the beginning when she talked about how Platt Tech has 900 kids waiting.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
900 kids on the waiting list.
Yeah, so that's their frustration, or they have the brand new high school that they've rebuilt and they can't even get in the kids that want to be trained
Right.
for these vocational jobs.
Right.
I also thought it was important what she said about how they've built community and that some people, you know, who's the husband of this person, and you know, all these connections that are made.
Mm-hmm.
Just people getting to know each other through the connections in town, and how it's brought more business in. And that was similar to the Main Street, Connecticut Main Street talk that I'd listened to, and they were saying how they created I think it was New Britain, they created a hype team with to help get the word about the types of changes they were making. So
What did they do to bring the community together? I mean, I'm sure it could be scaled down if there was, you know.
I
is
mean,
it
it was
more
just
stuff like we
she
do,
was talking just
networking
in terms of like networking and
They were doing a lot of open houses, even with the different committees and commissions in town. So they would
Yes.
bring them into town hall, and they would say, "Here's who we are. Here's what we do." You know, so people could kind of see how the pieces all fit, and they're not these like things that happen on Thursday night at 6:00, right? But it, you know, just all the different, like the solution that they have for Subway. They've already identified big auto parts.
FCP Euro.
FCP Euro. You know, building 160,000 square foot warehouse, and that, like, they're just knock Subway down. They're gonna put that over there. Like,
it's like on track to be $1 billion company or something.
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Right.
I've never heard of it.
but so from that, and then to Cleo's point, they highlighted, you know, there were a couple of moms that came up with a protein-enriched pasta sauce during COVID on their own. And the EDC was able to like make these connections in the town to help them build their little business from scratch. Like, and they have distribution and all these shop rights, and so it was from like the smallest of the small to like who's going to backfill Subway when they leave, right?
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
Well, tagging on to that, they everybody got a copy of the survey, the update to the survey on business climate, so we're supposed to try to circulate that. I think that's still available.
Did they email it out after the meeting?
Yeah, I think Tony, didn't you email it also?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did circulate it to everyone.
Yeah, it was unrelated. It's related to seeds, not to, I don't know. I get confused. I get confused between all these groups, but
A lot of acronyms.
yeah. And then I don't know if you want to wait until to talk about that email I got from the sustainability.
Yeah, let Sean talk about it. We get up to the gift card program, I guess.
Okay.
So the next item on the business updates is commercial real estate. I think, you know, that's sort of all I have as far as commercial real estate. The only thing I was wondering, based on what we were just talking about, when was the last time we had a networking or some sort of a get together And is there any money left in the budget before the end of the year? Is it worthwhile to try to do something real quick in November or somewhere just to get some people
Well,
together?
our budget year goes till June or July,
Oh,
so,
okay.
June
So
30th.
there's plenty of money, 'cause we haven't spent it anyways.
yeah.
I mean, is it worthwhile to schedule like a happy hour, networking, business get together at some point in time? Maybe, maybe not.
It could be, I don't wanna speak out of turn, so just turn my mic off. Is it an opportunity to bring the candidates together with the business community? To do a happy hour like that,
Could be.
right? I mean, just given where we are, I know it's how many weeks until the election, right? Not too many,
Not too many.
but they're both highlighting the business community, right, on their platforms. I don't know. Then
I mean, we could try to whip something real quick together at the brewery or something, just to not make it too fancy, but see if they want to attend and just invite people.
right.
When is, we don't have, there's like no weeks left
Right.
in November.
3 weeks.
Is it too short a time to put
To
something
coordinate
together?
something.
Can we turn it into a recruiting event for EDC membership
Mm-hmm.
as well?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't see why not.
I mean, I've been, everything that I go to in concerning the town, I say how we're in need of people, so.
Well, if we wanted to, so elections are what, the 7th, so we've got, is a Thursday like a good night just because that's the night that people want to get out of their house, or? There's not a lot of them. There's the 26th, there's the 26th is like,
Brian texted he's not able to make it, so,
Okay.
I mean,
or that last Thursday before the election, or Wednesday.
The first or second.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know with their campaigns so close, I don't know what their availabilities will be.
Sure.
I mean, if that's the thought, I mean, to just invite businesses, that's one thing, I just don't know
Mm-hmm.
if they're doing other things with that campaign.
My guess is you probably could get a turnout with something like that, right? In terms of bringing people out.
Would you be able to reach out to the two of them and see if they would be interested?
I could.
Just, I'm sure they'll get back to you quick. I mean, something, you know.
I'll run it by Karen as well, and Tony,
Okay.
because you're talking about both candidates being present, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Possibly at the brewery.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sure.
What night?
The 1st or the 2nd, maybe,
Yeah.
of November.
October, or November, yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
probably
yeah.
have budget because we have.
Cause election day is the 7th.
I'm sure we have budget.
Yeah, I'll check the
just-
budget too, I could do that. Let me see.
I may have
Get the-
So related to that, you let us know about the business list on the website. You said there's a lot of incomplete data because it relies on the businesses to update their own
Yes.
data.
So back when that database, we got a list of businesses, maybe from the assessor, I'm not sure where that list came from actually, but I did help back in 2016, look up the businesses, find if they were still active, removed them, so we had an updated list back in 2016. And then we must have asked businesses to either go up, update their emails, but to my surprise, there are only like 41 emails
Right.
in that list. Now through constant contact, which is, that's the website where people could go in and look for photographers or manufacturers or what have you. Constant Contact is all emails. So there's like, I think about 430 people on that list.
I think that's the list that
Yeah.
I used.
So the Sustainability Committee was asking me how accurate that list was.
Which list? Which one? The database?
She said she looked at the website. She wanted to know how accurate the,
Well, it's managed, it's for businesses, so here is a tool for businesses to, when they come new to town, add their business, add what kind of business they are.
right. So,
Email address, phone number.
The problem is when
Now-
they leave.
Right, the problem is
Don't
they
think that's
exit from town or change names or what have you, is probably the last thing on their mind is, oh, let me delete myself from
right.
website.
So she's asking what they could do to help keep it accurate and updated, but I'm wondering also if it should be part of our role to make sure it's updated once a year or once every 18 months or something.
Can we, through that Constant Contact, pull the list of all the businesses in it?
Well,
Because we could definitely eliminate those that aren't around anymore.
yeah, I did get that list, or I do have that list. I'm requesting a new list because I suspect that the way Constant Contact is created is that you could go in as a business and ask to be added to the e-news. So you're then going in and asking for this communication. So, I don't know if there's duplication on that list. I did ask for an updated list, because the last one I think I gave you, Sean, was like almost a year ago, maybe, if it's 8 months ago, something of that nature. Probably August of last year, or around that time, fall of last year. So, what we don't know is, I asked the person who manages the Constant Contacts, who sends out those emails, do you get bounce backs? Like, if you get bounce backs, they didn't have the email, then we could easily delete them. But to her knowledge, she's not sure that she receives any of that. So, yeah, we could print out a list, we could manually look at it as a working session. Some people may know businesses, in town.
Yeah.
It was a big effort initially when we looked at that database and created it.
If it's easy to export it and just send it along, maybe we could do it at one of the next meetings and try to
Mhm.
clean it up a little bit. Something to do, yeah. Someone's got to do it, might as well.
Or the other thing is possibly the list with the emails, maybe sending, now if they're not maybe they're the same people, right, because I haven't done a comparison. Maybe a lot of those same people are also on the Civic Plus website. So maybe just sending them an email saying, we give residents in town the opportunity to look for businesses based on their category of business. Take a peek, are you in there? Make sure you've got your contact information. So, that might be something that's really no cost, it's an email,
Right.
and then hopefully it could prompt people to look at the website and know that it could be a tool useful to residents in town.
Yeah, I definitely think we should do that at a minimum.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Might as well send that email out first. Let people self-check, and then we can see if anybody actually logs in and changes anything. Okay. Anything else? Commercial real estate? I don't have any other commercial real estate stuff, I don't think. So, we can move on, I guess. Showing the gift card program.
So we can kind of segue from that conversation we were just having about the email list. So I sent that email out to gauge interest in, potentially having the, website, and I sent it to all of the emails, which were, a few hundred. I got back 7, maybe 8 responses, none of which were interested. So I got very poor response, and the responses that I did get had no interest. So,
Remind me again how Yifty works, because it's been so long, I don't remember.
So I mean, it was so it's a website that is basically, you know, functions as a business networking website for a town, and it's a directory, so people can find business information, by various segments, categories, what have you, on that website. And then also, they set up the local businesses with a way to buy a gift card through their POS system, and it's just on their phone. It's a digital gift card, and there's no cost to the retailer, store owner, and there's no cost to the recipient of the gift card. It's just a fee that the person buying the gift card pays. So, I mean, I've met with the people from there, and this is back when, Betsy met with them as well, and it seems like it's a really easy program that can be beneficial to businesses and minimal cost. And,
How does it integrate with their point of sale system?
I forget because it's been so long, but it's pretty seamless from what I recall. And they had examples of towns, maybe not towns that are small as ours, that that had success with it and helping businesses and kind of like acting as a hub for like being a directory and so on. But I mean, like I said, I wanted to gauge potential interest, and I got virtually no response. So I mean, part of that could be because of this list might be not up to date. So I'm thinking that's a piece of it as well in terms of the poor response rate. But I think maybe we just not kind of like table this as an agenda item until we get that list current, and then maybe try it again down the road.
Is there any cost to us, like for starting it? There's no startup cost or anything? It's just
No.
the cost goes to the consumer?
Mm-hmm.
Can you share copy of what you sent to the businesses?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they thought it was just spam, or I'd
Mhm.
be interested in.
Yeah.
Because you should have gotten one theoretically, right? Or you're not Woodbridge.
He's a sort of.
Well,
You're
no,
not Woodbridge.
I mean, I pay taxes for my home office.
Yeah.
That's about it, but yeah. The state knows me as being here,
Okay.
my LLC, so I don't recall getting anything.
I damaged my phone while I was away, so I'm trying to get my new phone like up to speed with. I don't even have all my email accounts on here yet, but
Okay.
so yeah, I will when I get that back up, I'll share it with you guys.
You're up again, business signs.
Oh, okay. So it was suggested that because I'm also on the ZBA, and we're all aware of the issue that came to the ZBA regarding Chris Farm ice cream, right? So we had we had the initial hearing, then we had a second meeting, and it was continued, and we were supposed to meet a few weeks ago. Bear with me for a second because I need to find the document here. And during those meetings here, a lot of local folks in the community came out in support of them. So I was encouraged to see the civic engagement. I thought that was really, really positive thing. Usually our meetings are pretty boring. So there was a resolution, and it's there was an application that was submitted by Chris Farm to the Woodbridge town planning and zoning commission, in accordance with the section of the zoning law, to erect 2 wayfinding or directional signs in the town of Woodbridge on the northwest corner of Bear Hill Road and Seymour Road, in the southeast corner of Acorn Hill Road and Seymour Road, both locations being in the Residence A zone of the town of Woodbridge. So,
So that was a new ordinance, or that was an existing ordinance for the wayfinding?
I believe it's existing. We haven't had any sort of, postmortem after this, which I would like to have, so that
Yeah.
we can,
I'm curious if they mentioned the size that it could be, because now I've been seeing signs pop up all over the place for other farms and businesses.
right. So, yeah, I mean, I want to follow up on this and, learn, more about how this came to be and the logic behind it, and let me back up, the reason why, and anybody could see this on the recordings. There was an interpretation of the zoning law that there was one interpretation saying that those signs were not allowed, but then our board, the way we interpret it, that's not how we interpret it either. And we have an attorney on the board as well, so she did excellent work. She did a lot of work on it, and we were lucky to have her. So that's kind of how it ended up getting continued to a third meeting, and then that third meeting, there was no need for that because of the application for the wayfinding sign. So that's where things stand now. I don't know any current information about how it's processing. I assume everything's just.
How many
going along.
signs will be on this wayfinding sign? It's gonna be a number of businesses, or is it gonna this way to businesses?
I don't know that.
Okay. Oh. Interesting. And the town will be putting up these signs?
I believe so. I kind of hesitate to provide,
I think it's
like
a-
details
I think it's
because
a business.
The businesses?
I can't say for sure because
Okay.
like I said, there's still
It's on
information.
it's on personal residential property?
Yeah, but they have permission from the resident.
From the resident,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, there's also a right of way that from the road into the ground, right? What is it, like 10? I don't know. It's like X amount of feet where there's a public right of way
Right.
from the road. So that's that.
Thanks. Other updates is the next one with business communication and website, but I think we just covered that in the previous agenda items. I guess I should go back because I didn't realize that what number 2 was on this. This is the EDC chair item back at the top. That's there because I brought up to Tony that I'm sitting in the chair spot because Robert left and we only have 5 people total. I'm just, my time is so thin right now, and I'm sure everybody else is, so I'm sort of preaching to the choir, but mine is really thin. To my point, my kids keep saying, why do you keep going to meetings? Which I think is a normal thing as they get older, but I'm just trying to find, I've been part of EDC for a long time, and I can find ways to start being a part of it. I just don't know if I can handle being the chair for the, it doesn't have to be today or tomorrow, but I don't know, just something to keep on your minds if anybody would be interested. I don't want to, I don't want to just leave EDC. I'd like to be a part of it, but commitment's sort of tough. I'm going to walk across the street from here and go to another meeting. I had back-to-back last night. It's a lot. So anyways, that's what that EDC chair is. So there could be a comment or not, but I just wanted to bring it up. We have nobody here, so there's no public comment.
Right.
Just, I might want to mention too, is that when you do get, I think 3 people on board, and you could determine if anybody here is interested or some of the new members might be interested. And then it normally goes to vote who the chair would be, right? So
When does that typically take place? Is that right after beginning of the year, or is that not till next June? Or
the placement,
yeah,
so because I think right now they're planning on waiting to some of the appointments for January. Makes sense time-wise in terms of.
After the election.
Yeah, after election. So, yeah, I mean, typically, they get filled. They try to get filled quickly, right?
yeah.
I know it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
But normally then when you have a full, stuff, they either vote, if somebody's interested, somebody would nominate them.
So
and we just-
2030 hasn't met.
I forget when we met last time. Did you remember when we met last?
Because when we met last month, there was sidewalk proposal.
Matt, we're meeting next week. The last time we met was, did we meet on the 19th? I can't even remember. Did we meet on September 19th?
Yes, you did, because Tony took the minutes and then I transcribed them for him.
And I think the only thing we talked about at the meeting was some of the stuff we talked about at our meeting before, which was some of the lot SIP money that we're applying
Right.
for. And I don't think anything new was covered because we're sort of a step in front of EDC instead of our meeting schedule. So we
Right.
meet before 2030 does in the month. So there wasn't anything weird. You guys got the update that sort of 2030 got at the last meeting. Right? I don't think there was anything new.
There's
Unless-
very little in the minutes, just, I think Tony just discussed a little bit more about the grant there.
Yeah. And it was, and to be clear of the roads, it's Amity Road, Bradley Road, and Lucy Street. It's
Right.
not Litchfield at all. Litchfield's not part of the initial application for that grant. It's just those three streets, and it can be, it's not gonna necessarily be 11 million, they're applying for, I think, $11 million. It's not gonna necessarily be $11 million all at once. It may be, we're looking to do the intersection at Bradley and Amity, if that ever comes to fruition, and we're gonna, there's gonna be a big study, and then X amount of dollars is gonna go to that project, and the money would come for that project, and it would go forward like that. So it's not gonna be one big pot of money coming over. It's gonna be based on an application process per project.
Like phases.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I understood it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I got. Anybody else? Okay. Our next meeting's on November 9th. Does that make sense?
Sounds
Okay.
right.
Okay.
I just have a question with regard to the list that I get with the emails. So I already made a request for that, something that just need a little time to get to me. Do you want me to circulate it before the next meeting, so everyone has the opportunity to look at it in advance of the meeting, or do you want to do a working meeting? What's the thought process behind
If you could send it in advance, and then we could put it on the agenda, then we could do.
it?
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
We could talk about it a little bit, and then we can decide whether we want to do it there, or we can send people home with homework and come back to the next meeting with, like, a little snippet of businesses, something like that. So, all right. Nothing else? Want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. 6:42.